In the narrow streets of ancient Palestine, a world lived under a heavy shadow of fear, rigid rules, and fading hope. The air was thick with tension. Religious scholars argued endlessly over fine points of law. Rulers oppressed the common people, and the poor suffered in quiet desperation. The name of God was on many lips, but his mercy seemed a distant memory. It was into this broken and anxious society that Isa ibn Maryam walked. He didn't arrive as a king demanding tribute or a warrior raising an army. He came as a humble servant. Isa never sought out cheering crowds or grand stages. He didn't build palaces or surround himself with luxury. He lived a life of profound simplicity. His clothes were plain, his meals were modest, and his hands were always open to give. In his eyes, you could see a deep sorrow for the state of the world, yet they also shone with an unshakable trust in Allah. When he spoke, his voice was like a gentle breeze, awakening hearts that had been asleep for far too long. He didn't command, he invited. He would sit with the poor, sharing their meager meals. He would listen to the outcasts, those whom society had labeled unclean and unworthy. He spent time with the broken-hearted, offering them not just words, but a sense of peace. Children who can sense true kindness felt completely safe in his presence. The sick found a flicker of hope, and those burdened by sin felt not condemnation, but the possibility of mercy. Isa's life was a living reminder that Allah doesn't look at our status, our wealth, or our lineage. He looks at the sincerity within our hearts. When Allah commanded him to declare his mission, Isa stood among the people and called them back to the pure, simple worship of the one true God. He warned them against twisting religion for personal power or national pride. He reminded them with gentle urgency that this world is a temporary stop and the real journey ends in the hereafter, which is eternal. The reactions were mixed. Many listened quietly, their hearts stirred by a truth they had almost forgotten. Some believed deeply, their faith rekindled, but others mocked him. The religious leaders in particular felt their authority threatened. Isa, without ever raising his voice, exposed their hypocrisy. He showed the people that faith without compassion, that rules without mercy, are just empty shells. This simple truth angered those whose power was built on fear and control. Then, by the permission of Allah, miracles began to happen through Isa's hands. The blind saw the light of day for the first time. The chronically ill stood up, healed and whole. In the most profound sign of all, the dead were returned to life. Yet with every miracle, Isa never took credit for himself. He would always say, "This is by the permission of my Lord." He was a vessel for God's power, not the source of it. Despite these clear signs, most hearts remained sealed. At night, away from the crowds, Isa would pray alone, his heart heavy. He would ask Allah why people rejected the truth so stubbornly. His tears were not for his own struggles, but for the self-inflicted blindness of humanity. He knew the path ahead was filled with danger, but he never once thought of turning back. His commitment to his Lord was absolute. As Isa's message of pure monotheism and compassion spread, so did the fear among the powerful. The leaders began to whisper in dark corners, plotting against him. They couldn't refute his words, so they attacked his character. They accused him of magic, of rebellion, of being a liar. They spread rumors and disinformation, trying to poison the minds of the people and destroy his reputation. The constant pressure began to take its toll. Some of those who had once listened with open hearts began to have doubts. Even among his closest followers, fear began to creep in. Isa knew this was part of the test. He warned his followers that holding on to the truth always brings trials. He told them that loving Allah requires immense patience and a willingness to sacrifice. He never promised them worldly wealth or an easy life. The only promise was a greater closeness to God. One day, Isa gathered his most loyal followers, the Hawarian, his disciples. He asked them, "Who will be my helpers for the cause of Allah?" Though they were few in number and filled with fear, they pledged their loyalty. Isa prayed for them, asking Allah to grant them strength and steadfastness. The pressure continued to mount. Soldiers were now actively searching for him. The religious and political leaders demanded his arrest. People who had once welcomed him into their homes now avoided him, afraid of being associated with him. Yet Isa did not hide his faith. He simply moved his teaching to quieter places, to olive groves under the stars, to the homes of the faithful, to open fields. His words grew sharper, clearer, and more urgent. He spoke of accountability on the day of judgment and reminded everyone that falsehood, no matter how powerful it seems, never survives forever. Then came the night of betrayal. Someone who knew his location revealed it to his enemies. A plan was set in motion with chilling speed. They foolishly believed that by killing the messenger, they could kill the message. That night, a profound sense of calm settled over Isa. He prayed with complete sincerity, surrendering his fate entirely to the will of his Lord. When the soldiers arrived, confusion erupted. In that critical moment, Allah protected His beloved Prophet. The enemies celebrated, believing they had captured and killed him, but they were deceived by a clever illusion. Isa was raised by Allah, alive and unharmed, safe from their wicked plans. The truth he carried remained pure and untouchable. After Isa was raised to the heavens, time moved on. Generations came and went. His original, pure message became altered by some, forgotten by others, and exaggerated by many more. Some went to the extreme of denying his prophethood entirely. Others went to the opposite extreme of worshiping him as a god. Very few managed to hold on to the simple truth exactly as he had taught it, but Allah, in His infinite wisdom, preserved the reality of what happened. Isa remained alive, waiting for the moment decreed by God for his return. His mission was not finished. It was only paused. Near the end of time, when the world is drowning in injustice and holding on to the truth feels strange and difficult, Isa ibn Maryam will return. He will not come as a new prophet with a new law. He will return as a follower of the final prophet, Muhammad. Peace and blessings be upon him, and he will judge by the law of Islam. His return will be a time of clarification. He will break the false beliefs that have been built around his name. He will defeat the ultimate deception, and he will restore justice to the earth. Only then will the world finally understand who Isa truly is: a noble servant of Allah, a prophet of truth, and a magnificent sign of God's power. He will live among people as a just ruler, teaching humility by his example, and reminding the entire world of that one, simple, timeless truth: worship Allah alone with no partners. After he completes this final mission, Isa will pass away, just as all human beings do. His life, a life that began with a miracle birth and will end with the establishment of ultimate justice, will stand forever as a powerful testament that truth may be challenged, it may be delayed, but it can never, ever be defeated. Thanks for watching. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe for more.